this is going on. And some process also of disciplining the culprits is going on. So the full analysis of the results will be available. But I want to answer a question before you ask me. Are we going to rank the schools and the candidates? Parliament passed an amendment to the Kenya National Examinations Council's Act, which requires us to rank the schools in the order of a system we will have to determine through research, consultation, and then we are required to prepare regulations, because that is subsidiary legislation. We have to send them to Parliament before we can have a system based upon which we can rank. And this amendment was passed in October. It was too late for us to put together a system. I have reached out to civil society, I've reached out to other actors in the sector, so that we begin working to fulfill the requirements of that law. Because there is no basis upon which we can do ranking if we have not done what the statute prescribed when it was amended. So you'll receive all your results. We haven't done that ranking. But I needed to point one thing. If we were ranking this year's top candidate with 436 marks, he will not make it amongst the top 90 in 2015 because of what you and I know. But anyway, I want you to take it to the bank. That's why Professor Magawa says we should take the truth. This is probably the cleanest possible result you can hope to get. But there are two things I want to say. We have noticed several centers. You know, this game has been going on for a long time, but I will tell you, family, what is going to happen. Some private schools have been registering 2 centers in one school. I called in the Kenya Private Schools Association on Monday, and I had a come to Jesus with them. The issue is, we know that School X has got 200 candidates. So they choose to register students between candidate number 1 and 21. And they present us one center with 21 candidates so that their mean can go up. That nonsense has got to end, and it's ending now, 2016. We have firmly instructed the Kenya National Examinations Council, and it can't be any blunt than it is now. Firmly instructed the Kenya National Examinations Council that never again will we register 2 centers in one entity. From next year, we are going to have a one entity, one center approach. If you bring those kinds of business, we deregister you, period. That's all. You go and do your business wherever you want to do it. You cannot use our children for your own gimmicks, a selfish, greedy way of trying to market yourself using our children. And let me describe a short situation so that you can understand how sickening it is. In one school, there are 2 children from one family. And this so-called ingenious person has registered one child in the cohort of 21 and the other child in the other group, which is supposed to be seen to be either foolish or unable. Many of you are seated before me here are teachers, are trained teachers. Do you understand psychologically what you have done to those children? One will grow up with the stigma that people don't think they are smart, that probably they are second rate, all because of some guy who wants to make money, and they think the smartest thing to do is to engage in that kind of business. There are certain things I don't want to say now because I am before the country. We will take this to the farthest extent. So it's as simple as that. We will never again in this country have that kind of business. From next year, we are going to do is a one entity, one center approach. And I'm not springing a surprise. I had a meeting with the Kenya Private Schools Association on Monday. And I explained to them this, and I said as ministry and as government, we will not accept it. It's now policy. NEC is instructed to proceed in that kind of manner. If anybody tries to argue against it, you deregister them, you can go and run your business where you want, but as a country, we will not accept it. 2, there are private centers. One feature that we have noticed this year, when we look at the data and the analysis we are doing, there's an interesting feature in our country where there are people who either go to NEC or for some reason, I'm trying to find out some of those officers in my own corner at the Jogo who were engaged in that, register some centers. We have a school in a particular part of the country, I don't want to stigmatize that part of the country, 2 schools actually, where there are no students from 1 to Form 3. They only have Form 4 students. 2 schools. And they are administering an exam. There are private schools. When I was moving around, you go to places where in Nakuru and other places, where you go, the officers take you to behind some shop, where you find people doing an exam. They say they are actually private candidates, registered as private candidates. Many of them actually ran away when we started cracking hard on these people. Some of the absent candidates you will see in our data this year is from those people, because when they knew we were moving around ourselves, they vanished in the process. So here is the way we will go. Never again have any of those private centers that do exams from behind shops. Any private center or private candidates who register for an exam will do an exam from a Ministry of Education institution. Because if you register as private candidates, you are in Nairobi, we have plenty of places in Nairobi. We will find a school for you in Nairobi where you will do your exam. We will find a TTC for you. We will find a polytechnic for you where you will do your exam. You don't have to go to somewhere behind Ngara and want to do the exam from there, because I can tell you for a fact, half of those are cases of impersonation where people are doing exams for others and so on and so forth. And that is the sector that fueled examination cheating. Because those are the people who invest money in buying invigilators, buying supervisors, and so on. So we are cleaning up. And then let everyone agree, we have to clean up. That's the way we are going to go, as it were. So NEC, again, is also instructed on that. Those private centers, you will be registered as a private candidate, that's fine, but you will do an exam from a Ministry of Education institution. Once you have been registered, NEC will tell you, you will do your exam from Nairobi School. And we'll go to the principal of Nairobi School, they will give us a room where we locate you. Or we'll go to the principal of Ngara Girls or principal of Pangani. They give us a place where we will locate you. Working with our regional coordinators and our county directors, we locate you, you do your exam from there. That is how we will protect the integrity of the exam. I think, by and large, that is it. I did promise, and I think it's now policy. We have agreed that from next year, we'll be paying examination fees for all our candidates, whether they're in public or private schools. And in that vein, when we do Form 1 selection, all our children who have 400 marks and above, whether they are from private or public schools, will be selected to national schools of their choice as we go forward. And we will deal with case-by-case arrangement, as we have been asked by the Kenya Private Schools Association, and we'll keep working with them. As long as they're not making unreasonable demands, we are always, of course, ready and willing to reason with everyone, as it were. So, in conclusion, I want to say 2 things. Our command and control center is working. It's a 24/7 operation. Anyone who has issues on the exams, we give the numbers during the exams. Call up there, walk in. Whatever issue you have, we will be able to sort it out. I do not need to reiterate the position that has been clearly outlined by my colleagues, both John Musheru and General Kaiseri, about the marking of KCSE. We will stick to the truth, and I think you can see so far that you cannot second guess us. You just need to try. We are going to manage the exam processing very effectively, truthfully, and ensure that we get credible results for KCSE, because that too is something that we've managed very effectively. Very lastly, if you are a candidate